So I'm Ben. I'm the youth pastor here at Crossroads, and I wanted to explain first to some of you what Velocity is, because a number of you have never gone or heard a whole lot about it before. So Velocity is the camp that we do in the summer. We take our middle and high schoolers, and it's run differently from a lot of summer camps in that we go as a whole church, and instead of going and they have a program set up, all the churches that go take part in planning it. So everything that happens during the week, we host it at a college campus. We rent out a campus, we hire a speaker, we organize all the games and the sessions and how we want things done. And we put it on together because we have this community of churches, and we want to tie in the stuff that we learn, our kids learn in the camp in the summer, with their church, which is part of their community that helps them grow closer to God, so that the experience they have in the summer isn't something that just happens in the summer, but it's connected in.
So on top of all the getting the permission slips and money and organizing, you have meetings throughout the year, Velocity Camp meetings that are
Yes.
planning meetings to get it going. So it's for doing it that way. It is not, you show up at Spring Hill and you say, here, take the kids for a week. Doing it the way we do it, it puts a lot on your plate. There's a lot that you're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I have to do because it's not just like
Yeah.
Spring Hill. Like, I have to help with stuff, and I had to help run tournaments, and I taught some
Yeah.
this year. So, so I did have to do a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
beforehand.
All right. So, leading up to Velocity, there's always last minute stuff. I don't know if people realize this, but teens don't always turn things in a timely fashion. And
He's on his phone. It's okay. He didn't notice I pointed to him.
But so he's on his phone just to make the point about teens. We love you, Eli. All right, so you don't get a lot of sleep the couple of weeks leading up to it, and this year we also asked you to start a new business leading up to Velocity. So there was that.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, and then you don't really sleep the week of Velocity. All right, so it's like Wednesday or Thursday the following week. You've caught up on all your lawns. You've actually gotten a good night's sleep. And you reflect back on it and you say, you know what? Because of this, that is all worth it.
For me this year, what did it for me, what made it worth it when I looked back on it was seeing the stuff that the kids had learned throughout the week. So later on we'll talk about what exactly happens day to day at camp. But one of the things we do is we have youth group time in the evening where just kids from our church come together and we talk about what God's been teaching us during the week or stuff that's happened. And so one thing that we tried this year was we had a bulletin board and we had cards, and we had kids write down the encounter that they had with Jesus. That was the theme for this year's encounter, looking at when people encountered Jesus and how that experience changed them. So we had them write down their encounters, and we put them up there. So every time that we met, we would have them write something down and put it up. And that's something that I brought back. That's at the back. Marin, can you bring that up? It's right in front of the soundboard. I remembered this service to bring it, so I'm doing better all over the place.
We described it at the last
Described it,
service.
yeah.
You guys will get to see it.
So several days later, once I had recovered, looking at this and being able to actually see, tangibly that a difference was made. Because sometimes, when you talk at people, you don't know for sure if they actually learned anything or if anything you said made a difference at all.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes.
So this was incredibly encouraging because I could look at this and say, people encountered God that week. So and it was worth it. Yeah. So that's what did it for me.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's bring up some of your leaders and one of the students. So would you join me in welcoming Jenny, Abby, and Emily? And Ben and I are going to come down here so that we've got room for everybody. So Jenny, Abby, at different stages, but one of the things, let me just set up one of the things that I love about our church family is the kind of the family thing. So you see kids who are really excited because VBS is coming this week. And then in a couple of years, those same kids will be the leaders at VBS for all the young kids. And then they go off to Velocity, and then after, a year or two of being out of high school, then they come back and then they become leaders at Velocity, right? And it just, you see that up here. So Jenny's going to start us off. She's one of our adult leaders, and she had a special role this year, and so Jenny's going to start it off.
Okay, so this year I was able to be the craft lady for the camp. Much appreciation to Ben for that connection and offering that position to me, because that is so up my alley. Like, I just love it. Going into it, there's a lot of preparation, and craft, to set it up for you, the craft time is nestled in afternoon activities. So there's crafts, but there's also tournaments going on. There's just like random hangouts and games going on. So it's kind of like a free time, but there are some structured things going on. One of them is a craft. So kids might want to do the craft, but they also might have signed themselves up for a tournament that they have to be in. So they do have to choose. But we had 4 days. Well, we had crafts all 4 days. And the first craft that we did, we made these journals. We actually decorated and stitched together journals that they could have and use for the week, or use later on for the summer, or just do whatever. They give a lot of kids gave them away as gifts, which was really cool. Nice. So our next day we did kind of one of those like like twist and pour or whatever is around here. We did a class painting this, which was really, really fun. Some of the kids just did their own thing, which was totally cool. We had some really, really cool artwork that was made all 4 days. But it was really fun, leaders and students, to be able to see what they created. And some of them took this idea but did a completely different tree. Again, some of them made something completely different. So it was really, really exciting to see all that creativity and give them a chance to do things like that. The third day was tie-dye. And I actually came home and did a couple shirts, but I don't have any of those. But but Emily Kurt was wearing hers in the thing, and she totally got gypped because hers was awesome, and in the competition, she got taken out in the first round. So Emily's, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, we had some beautiful.
We're not holding
beautiful
any
shirts.
grudges at all against the other churches.
No.
But we'll get them next year, won't we?
It was the girl that won. She cut hers and she did little ties and stuff. But our tie-dye was awesome. And then the fourth day was just random, like leftover crafts. It was free time. And that was really exciting because I think of all the days, that was the time anybody who crafts in a group knows you get together and you do your thing and you're chit-chatting and you're talking, and it's a way to connect. So that was really exciting. I think my favorite part about being able to do that is sharing my love of art and making art and doing crafts with these kids and leaders that also like to do that, because I think, as I mentioned it before, I did not grow up going to youth group. I grew up in a Catholic church. We had it. I just didn't go, mainly because I thought all they did was play dodgeball. And that is not me. I will never play dodgeball. But there is a group, there for kids who also like to do other things than throw balls and hit people in the face. Crafts are cool. And I like being able to connect with those people who like to do that and kind of just offer a different side and connect with a variety of kids that way. I think that covers it all.
Yeah, thank you. So Abby's one of ours who grew up. She did VBS as a camper, did VBS as a leader, did Velocity as a camper, and now for the first time this year, did Velocity as a leader. So tell us about that, the differences and some of the struggles and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the main difference being a leader, it was like the fact that I didn't know if I even wanted to go this
Right.
year. Because when I was a camper, I was like, yes. Like in a minute, I said yes. I brought my friends with me. I had a great time.
Yeah.
When they asked if I wanted to be a leader, I was like, what? Yeah, it took me like a month to get back to them
Yeah.
saying yeah. But yeah, it was challenging. For the most part, I felt like a normal camper. I was hanging out with people, having a great time. I was learning about God like they were.
Yeah.
It was like the instances where I had to take on the leader role that was challenging. Like if we were praying with everyone, if there was conflict with people, it was so outside of my comfort zone. I've never done anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was challenging, but it was really fun
Yeah.
otherwise.
Favorite part?
Just making new friends, hanging out with everyone, staying
Yeah.
up late playing cards. It was a blast. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and the thing people don't realize is like, so whether you realize this or not, you're a cool college kid, you're at U of M. I'm sorry for you State fans, she's going to U of M in the fall, but you're a junior in college, and you stay up to 2 a.m. and you talk to somebody in middle school and you think, like, I didn't do anything, I just talked to that kid. No. Like, when you give them your time like that, you're letting them know that God loves them. And you just think, oh, I'm just hanging out with a kid. It's amazing. So thank you for what you did. All right. All right, and Emily is camper this year. So although you did the little kid in VBS, helper at VBS, camper, we'll see what the future holds. But tell us about your time, and just tell us about a day, because you're the person now, the camper. Tell us the fun thing you can start every day with.
Oh, okay. So every day we wake up around like 7 a.m. and there's an option for the morning run, but not a lot of people do that because we're tired. And then you can go get breakfast. After that, there's time to kind of hang out. And a lot of people hang out in the quad. The quad's a fun place between each of the 4 dorms where there's volleyball and 9 square, and then just a couple little tables that you can sit and talk to people. And then after that, we have our sessions. We have our very entertaining announcements people, Dave and Jordan. And then we worship and learn about God, and it's a lot of fun. I love the worship sessions. They're great. And then after that, it's lunchtime. From lunch, we have our big group games, and those are mostly optional until the Battle of Helm's Deep, which, unless you're allergic to gluten like Nina, then you have to do it. And that one's a lot of fun. You get to throw flower bombs and water balloons and hit people with noodles and run around like crazy. You get disgusting and all sweaty afterwards, but it's worth it. And then there is the afternoon activities, and like Jenny said, there's crafts, there's a bunch of tournaments that you can do. One day I know there's swimming, you can take a nap if you want, whatever you feel like doing. And then after that, there are breakouts, and I really like breakouts because that's a cool opportunity where you get to hear youth group or youth leaders from other churches, and they each have their own unique style and input on God, and I really like hearing their different opinions on that. And then it's dinner time, afternoon session, and then we have our youth group meeting where we discuss what we learned through the day. We do the bulletin board, and by that time it's really late, and there's late night activities where you can do the Walmart run, you can go to the Dave party, that was one night. There's movies and just sometimes more tournaments. It's a lot of fun. And then instead of going to bed at that time when it's like 11 o'clock, we usually stay up till 1 to 3 in the morning playing cards and get
And
zero
hang out.
sleep and do it all again. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so the final thing is you have a shirt with Dave on the shirt. So here to explain the Dave shirt is the one and only back to Ben here to explain the Dave shirt for us.
So I was really bored last October, and I decided I wanted to prank Dave at camp this year because I pranked somebody else last year, so I figured I needed a new target. So I made an Instagram page and a website called Scenes from a Run, which Dave is very well known for posting pictures of scenes from a run. Just that was kind of like a satire of people who take pictures of when they go on runs. And then I started putting up weird pictures of Dave, like this one, and some other stuff like that. And then when we got to camp, I had 100 shirts printed up. And I took them to camp there. And I knew a girl who lived in that town that wasn't connected to me. So I had her sell the shirts for me so that Dave wouldn't be able to figure out that it was me selling the shirts. So there's just some random girl sitting in the grass next to the road just with all these shirts, just selling them with Dave's face on them. So that freaked him out pretty good. And he was running around the whole week trying to figure out who it was. And and then we had a Dave party. We had more shirts there. We got like cupcakes, and we had a big card for people to sign because Dave's been an important part of camp for a really long time. He's the reason that Crossroads does Velocity.
Yep.
Starting in what was the first year? For 25 years we've been going because because Dave started that. So yeah. So we just took the night to celebrate Dave and offload more shirts on people.
All right, thank you guys. All right, thanks guys.